Gentlemen, good to see you. Thank you so much for your time.
Good to see
Yeah,
you.
yeah, dude. Thank you for having us, man.
Michael, I love this show because I love that it has a lot of kind of elements at play here. Obviously, racing, is a big kind of component of it, cars, but from a script to screen journey, kind of reading all these elements, the coming of age, the relationships, the family, and kind of the sport component of it. What's it like kind of reading that in a script and then seeing it come to life on screen, so to speak, that script to screen journey?
I mean, dude, it's like so exciting. Like when I first read this script, I was blown away. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's so there's so much to chew on as an actor, and I think like also just Johnny Norris, our showrunner, was very thoughtful about how he wanted the show to be executed and really made sure that like the vision that he had in mind came to life. And I think it really did. Like he was involved in every single part of the process, whether he was in the editing room or he was there while we were shooting, or he was there. Like he was there from like start to finish, 100% through. I've never seen a showrunner do that before, really.
Yeah.
And like he would come to set and be like, the first time he watched one of the episodes, like he came to set and was just like, it was like he was speaking the word of God. He was like, dude, the show is incredible. We are making something that is so special. And like that energy, do you remember that day? There was like this energy that was there that day that was like, oh my gosh, we are really making something that's special. And I really do feel like we did. Like it's a great show.
And similar to the experience we hope viewers have,
Yep.
We were all so excited to get the next script.
Yes.
Everyone was waiting to see what's going to happen so as you're shooting, you're waiting, when are we going to get episode 4? When are we going to get episode 5? And so I hope the audience has that experience watching it, that they can't wait to get to the next one, because each one ends on sort of a cliffhanger that leads you into the next. And that's exciting.
Well, I'm going to say this, watching it, I swear, like 10 minutes into episode 1, you're interested, you care all about the characters, but the immediate thing going through my mind is Marcel needs to be protected at all costs.
Yes,
that's literally, Ryan, that's instantly like the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah. And Nicolas Cantu, he's so good. He brings such a great flavor to the show. As the season goes on, there's a lot more humor with him, between him and Michael. But yeah, Marcel is definitely someone that you feel protective toward.
The whole time.
And Nicolas is like an incredible artist and actor, and he took his job so seriously. Nicolas never dropped a single line. Never once did he drop a single line on set. Like, did you ever see him drop a line? Never. He was always so tight, always had a vision for it, always came to set so prepared. He's just a class act, man. He's amazing.
And it's interesting too, Ryan. My question as well is, Logan's relationship with, Michael and Melissa's characters are a little different, because from a viewer, perspective, it seems like, they're both interested in cars, but Melissa's interested in kind of the mechanic and the shop. Michael's character wants to race, you know what I mean? So the interactions that your character has with them can be a little different, but similar at the same time. So I'm just curious if you could speak to that a little bit, because I find that interesting.
Well, both of those aspects are part of Logan's background. So he was a mechanic in NASCAR and worked in the pit crew, and was also involved with training drivers. He taught his brother how to race. So he knows how to do both of the things that they're interested in. And because he cares so much for them, he wants to try to advance them in those directions safely, however he can. But yeah, it's interesting that you brought that up.
Absolutely. And Michael, it's interesting because you've played these characters before in previous work, like Love Victor, but these characters that are lost, figuring things out. Your character moves back to, a small town, has a love interest right away, reconnects with his uncle, tries to figure out what's going on with his father's past. These characters that are lost, right? Playing, like, doing self-reflection. I'm just wondering, from an acting storyteller perspective, is it more fun or more challenging to play these kind of lost, soul-searching characters? Because from a viewer perspective, they don't know they're lost. So I find that really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that somehow I kind of wind up finding myself in these types of roles. Like, although like different types of characters, like Victor is so different from Zach, but I do feel like for some reason there is like some sort of like soul tied to this kind of message that I do feel like I also gravitate towards. Like, I want to do art that matters and speaks to people. And I do feel like this is a message that is so universal and like it matters to people. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like everyone feels a little bit lost at some point in their life. Like if not often, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause I feel like you're constantly in a state of flux. And I think that these these types of stories make you feel seen and make you feel excited for the future versus scared.
Yeah.
And like you really do have your hands on the wheel, so to speak.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like that. I like these kinds of characters or these types of stories.
Yeah, and I think with any kind of coming of age story, you're going to have these certain themes and beats that are familiar. At the heart of that, there is this kind of trying to find your place in the world, trying to find out who you are, who you want to be, where you come from. And I think Michael does that so well in this show.
And then Ryan, I did want to ask, and Michael, I'm curious if you want to chime in afterwards, especially with a lot of kind of the racing stuff.
Yeah.
Ryan, I find it interesting. I'm a filmmaker as well, so I think about these things. But it's like, there are some scenes that we see, on screen that are, a runtime of like 2-3 minutes, right? But there is a good chance that scene might have taken you all like a day or two to film, right? Like these big scenes. So I'm wondering when that happens, and you can answer this with Motorheads or past work as well. When those big scenes happen, does it feel like its own mini movie or mini project, or does it feel like part of the overall Motorheads? Because I find that really interesting.
No, that's a good question. Those sequences do feel like their own mini movies.
Yeah.
Sometimes a whole day and a half, maybe even 2 days is set aside to get everything you need, because there's a lot of different elements, detailing and everything, and stunts, a lot of safety concerns. And so it's really time consuming. So they do, when you have a sequence like that, even though it's part of the show and certainly connected, and there's character dynamics that are important to those sequences, they do kind of stand alone as a production day.
Yeah, and like especially with like, there's one big race day in particular where the whole cast was there. We were on like a really crazy racetrack. I'm not gonna say any spoilers, but like that was a really intense sequence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I think we were there for 2 days. For 2 nights, really. And it was so exciting to just be a part of it, see the stunts and see, we hear their engines roaring and then like, see all the cameras flying by. Like it was so fun,
Well, I'm not going to go into big spoilers for a wrap up, but I think the really cool thing is, like Michael, your character, your father's car, like that's its own character, right? And throughout kind of us learning about all these different characters, there is this lead up that I really love. And the show does an incredible job balancing, because I love learning about all the characters, but like you also lead up to, there might or might not be a big race coming, right? So you have to like kind of figure that out. But I love the show. Congratulations to both you and the cast and crew. It's phenomenal. I can't wait for people to see Motorheads on Prime Video. Ryan, Michael, it's an honor and privilege to speak with both of you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.